recipient perpetually, we need to ask ourselves, what have we learned from engaging with the African continent? And I think if we do that, then we will not replicate through South-South cooperation the idea that Africa is a recipient of development from other countries. Thank you.
Thank you, Pilani. Last but not least, we have Mrs. Shada Sala in Chayal Kari. Jalil. Sorry.
You would have a companion?
Okay. Can I start? Yes. Okay. Distinguished ambassadors, excellencies, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, good afternoon and a warm welcome to you all. I'm very pleased and honored to be standing here representing my country, Palestine, and participating in this international conference to bring out the Palestinian dimension and role in South-South cooperation, in addition to showing the contribution made by the Palestinian International Cooperation Agency, PICA. First of all, India has come a long way in terms of progress, and tomorrow we'll be celebrating the glorious Independence Day. I just want to congratulate the great people of India on their Independence Day, and I do want to congratulate India and all the governments and countries who participated in the official launching of the International Solar Alliance, the outstanding initiative that will contribute in the efforts to combat climate change. And before I begin, I want to thank Professor Sachin, Director General of RIS, for this great opportunity. Thank you. Okay. In 2016, a presidential decree launched the Palestinian International Cooperation Agency, a mechanism to share contributions, promote solidarity through development, and foster South-South cooperation. The establishment of this agency is an expression of gratitude for the international community and the international support that the State of Palestine has received throughout centuries and years. And so, PICA is creating a new culture of international cooperation in Palestine. It's guided by the concept of solidarity through development for a more resilient world, and it seeks to share contributions, transfer knowledge, and supply development aid, technical assistance, and to developing countries with the aim of promoting South-South cooperation through various modalities, including reverse linkage. We rely on rich Palestinian know-how experts located locally and in the diaspora to match fellow countries' needs with the Palestinian capacities and to implement bilateral, trilateral, and multilateral South-South cooperation programs in the fields of health, agriculture, education, renewable energy, information technology, civic engineering, and volunteerism. Now, Palestinian expertise is transferred and employed to the benefit of other countries in need, where they provide a huge contribution in the South-South cooperation. Since it was established, PICA has led an important role in developing and promoting South-South cooperation and a driver to sustainable development and the agenda of the 2030. One of the agency's most important fields of work is health. It's essential in raising the development standards around the globe in sectors such as medicine, nutrition, first aid, nursing, medical sciences, health management, public health provision, and healthcare development. At last, the work of the Palestinian International Cooperation gives many of us hope for a better future. The shift towards sustainable development and cooperation between countries of the Global South is a major significance, especially as all cooperating parties realize that a positive outcome will be the result of a positive action. working towards a better world for everyone together. And now I leave the floor to my colleague Jalil, who will talk about our missions and programs. Thank you.
Good evening. I want to start by a story. A couple of weeks when we came here to the RIS, we met some wonderful people. So there's a guy, I think Eden from Zimbabwe is here. Yeah, he's in the back. When he saw us, he told us like, "But you're Palestine, you look normal." So I was like, "Why not?" So I know when you hear Palestine, the only thing your mind goes through that we are receiving, but we can't give. We have a lot of our advantages. We got expertise. We got doctors that work in war, in conflicts, without medicines, with lake resources. With some of them, they work without power, even the agriculture section. We have people that grow more unlimited limited resources, limited water, and limited land. So, and there's another advantage for us. We see it, that we got a lot of diaspora and refugees in the whole world, and we established a database of the know-how and the expert Palestinian in the world. They're most in the south countries, and there's a lot in the north country. So we can implement these people from the north countries to work in the south countries to help in the north-south cooperation and also the south-south cooperation. So I say it, we don't have a lot, but people with so little can give a lot. So I'm gonna go through some of the projects that we already did and some of the projects that we are willing to do. So this is our first program that we established a rapid response team with ATMs, AMTs, and doctors are very expert. When the tragic that happened in Ecuador, the earthquake, we sent 20 doctors in May 2016, and they stayed there for 20 days helping people. Even the Palestinians that live in the Ecuador, they came because they heard Palestine. They came and they started helping the team to reduce the situation in Ecuador. Also, we have some expertise. One of them is a orthopedic spinal surgery for kids under 10 years old. So we deploy our doctors. We went to Lahore. They teach some local doctors how to do this surgeries, and from there, this mission is still going on. There's like a couple of stages to teach them how to do it, and we already do it and we did it also in Rwanda. So, and this is an agriculture team that we also sent to Sri Lanka to help develop and to share the know-how and expertise to do some of our techniques that we do. And also this is this is in Rwanda that I told you about, and this is after they do the surgeries, they do some lectures to the doctors to show what could be happen, what is the mistakes maybe that will happen in the surgeries, and how can you perform it in the most successful way. And also this when Maria hurricane happened, we also deployed the 36 member. They are specialized doctors, rescue team, paramedics, and civil defense to Dominica, and I went with them. We stayed there 15 days trying to help the most people that we could do there. And it was with a cooperation with Venezuela. They gave us the airplane. We went with their team, their airplanes, and we got our guys to go to Dominica. And also this was in Mauritania. It was we worked with the Islamic Development Bank. They got some. They are the one with the money, so they got some budgets to help the Islamic countries in the whole world. So we get their budgets to help, and we use our know-how and expertise to go to these countries to give the know-how and to give our experience in a lot of sections. And this is also in Venezuela. We worked in Venezuela, and we also got some Palestinian investors from the NURS to go to try to invest in Venezuela to try to help it in their situation now. So Mozambique, we designed a program for 3 years. that will benefit at least 10 countries around the Mozambique. They're teaching them also the orthopedic spinal surgery, and they're teaching a lot of doctors there, and they were trying to get another doctors from the countries around it to come to learn the things so they can use these techniques and to bring it down to their countries. And one of our upcoming project, it's in Lebanon. We always say the only one who can really feel what refugees are going through is a refugee or an ex-refugee. So we're getting the database of the Palestinian refugees who's living in Lebanon, the one who got the expertise and the know-how. And we're going to deploy them to go to the campus of the Syrian refugees to start working and to start helping them in every way. And we're also going to do this same project in Jordan, because the refugees of Syria, they're divided between Jordan and Lebanon. So we're going to use all our refugees to help their refugees. So this is an implementation of the South-South cooperation. This is how it should work. And thank you.
Thank you very, very much for the excellent presentation. We have time for one short round of questions. I'm going to get 4 questions from the floor. We have two questions from the floor. Okay. Adriano, please.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this round of presentations. I'll be very short. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you, Palestine, because you are one of the greatest examples of South-South cooperation. And that not only about BRICS or Ibiza or big powers on the South, but all countries can help. And also our director just said this in Cairo in the last meeting on South-South cooperation. So all countries, they can really contribute, and you are contributing massively. So how to measure in economic terms this type of cooperation? That's the question we have in the South Center, because how can we measure the contribution of Palestine to South-South cooperation? It's much more than money that you give, because when you come to those countries, you have your experience of the suffering in difficult conditions. So all the psychological richness that you bring when you are assisting someone in the same situation. So I don't know if you could comment on this. How do you see the issue of measurement? And on Africa, just to finish, Pilano just said one issue that is very interesting, because Africans should not be always on the position of the recipient. And I have a very practical example of Brazil. On the project on cotton that we are working in Mali, we will have new varieties of cotton more adapted to dry conditions, to more climate stress conditions, that will be useful for Brazil later. So another example that South-South cooperation is not only about one receiving, the other win. So we will have new varieties that will be useful for us in the future, and to continue on agriculture, that is one of the main sectors. Thank you very much, and thank you, Satine, everybody of you, for this great panel.
Thanks, Adriano. I will urge you to be short, please. We have Luara, André, and Thomas. Luara?
Thank you, very short. Both Gerardo and Pilani talked about concessionality as something that must be, considered, or an aspect that could be key for clearing the conceptual framework. And it goes a little bit against, or I would actually like to hear from Professor Sachin if this idea of taking concessionality as a key for understanding South-South cooperation, if if you feel diminishes in any way the development compact, just because, as Gerardo says, you have a broader perspective on South-South cooperation. So this is one. And the other one is on, you kept saying trilateral. I don't like trilateral. I think it's very not precise, because trilateral could be any three-partite, three countries from the north, for instance. So I insist on triangular. We have talked about the southernization of development, and also in triangular cooperation, and also the risk of cooptation from the north. I think Paulo said that, something like that in the first session of this conference. So, and from what I understand, Jorge, triangular is not a part of the BAPA plus 40 next year, and maybe it is, I don't know, yeah? Okay, so I just wanted to know a little bit to hear some comments from the panel on this trilateral cooperation. Yes, okay, right.
Thanks a lot, André, please.
Thanks, Paulo. Thank you all for very insightful and interesting presentations. I'll try my best to be brief. First, a question to Professor Citas. I do appreciate your optimism with regard to the BRICS, and I agree that the BRICS have come a lot further than the skeptics from the West would expect in the beginning.